This video is part of a course called JavaScript for Visual Learners, much of which has been included for free on this channel. Please subscribe. It is time for another one of our Let's Dig Deeper sections. In it, we would look at the ECMAScript standard, and more specifically the parts of it that deal with strict equality. If we go to the strict equality comparison section, we would see what algorithm JavaScript should follow to give us a result. We are being told that if we are comparing two values, x and y, the strict equality comparison would produce an answer which would be either true or false. We of course know that already, but let us look at the set of rules that are followed. What is said on line number 1 here is fairly important. We are being told that if the type of x, i.e. the first variable, is different from the type of y, which is the second variable, we must return false. This is the main reason why it's always a better idea to use the strict equality operator rather than the other equality operator type that we have available in the language, the loose equality operator, because strict is never converting types for us. If the two types of a value are different, we would always get false. If we try to compare a number to a string, for example, we would never get true as a result. If the types of the two values we are comparing are the same, we move on to the next line. And in this case, we are being told what would happen if the values are numeric. The types of both values in this case would be numeric, and all we would have to do is compare the numbers. Line 3 then deals with what should happen if the two values, which are the same, are non-numeric. In this case, we are being told to make sure that the type of the value is not a number or a big int, and that the two types are in fact the same. And we are then giving the following sets of rules. If type x is undefined, which of course also means that the type of y must be undefined because the two types are the same, we must return true. So writing undefined strict equality operator undefined returns true. This is where this rule comes from. If type x is null, we should also return true. Again, this is why null strict equality operator null returns true. Now what happens if we are dealing with strings? What rules will be followed? Well, the rule in this case is quite explicitly spelled out for us. If x and y are exactly the same sequence of code unit, return true, otherwise return false. If both strings have exactly the same set of characters in the same order, return true. This is all this statement means. Now, what if type x is a boolean? Which again would of course mean that type y is a boolean too. Again, the rule is quite simple. If both x and y are true, or if both x and y are false, return true. Otherwise, return false. So true is equal to true, false is equal to false, but true is not equal to false. Now we will skip the symbol description. You can read it if you're interested, it's straightforward. And we move on to the instruction that deals with object values. Things like objects, arrays, etc. And again, the instruction here is quite straightforward. We are simply being told that if x and y refer to the same object, we must return true. Otherwise, we return false. Notice that this is the same object in memory. Just because two objects have identical key value pairs does not make them the same. They must be literally the same object in memory. We have seen an example of this already. We discussed how defining two objects, object 1 and object 2, with identical key value pairs do not result in the same object. But now you saw where the instruction for this behavior was given in the ECMAScript standard. The ECMAScript standard is difficult to read, but sometimes it is very useful to in fact look at it because this is the only way you understand what really happens under the hood.